The News Hour with Arnab Swami, brought to you by Samsonite.
At 8 this evening, we put out our investigative report about America's plans to park a large part of its navy in Bangladesh, which is the real reason why Hillary Clinton is spending so much time in Bangladesh. She spent time in Kolkata. It's about safeguarding American strategic interests. And with us on that, we're talking about that with Lisa Curtis of the Heritage Foundation from Washington, Veena Sikri, former Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Seshadri Chari, member of the National Executive of the BJP, Maruf Raza, Strategic Affairs Analyst, Wasbir Hussain, Consulting Editor of Times Now from Guwahati in the Northeast, and Anthony Wu, who's China representative at the Center for Strategic Research and Analysis, Sesran from Hong Kong. That's a big panel we have tonight. But before that, revealed tonight on Times Now, America's strategy to park its exclusive 7th Fleet in a base in Bangladesh. Not just the 7th Fleet, in fact, specifically, a naval presence in Bangladesh. Times Now has heard that the US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's visit to Bangladesh was much more than just a friendly gesture. Here's the story that highlights how an increasingly worried United States is desperate to counter China by setting up a massive naval presence in Chittagong as it prepares to retreat from Afghanistan. All this could make the Bay of Bengal a zone of conflict between America and China. I'd like to ask you, Lisa, first, why would America want a stronger military or naval presence or a base in and around or within Bangladesh?
Well, frankly, this sounds like a bunch of hype. I haven't heard any indication that the U.S. is planning to send the 7th Fleet to Bangladesh. And I just want to point out a few things here. The U.S. and India have a strong relationship. They have robust discussions, strategic discussions. They have a dialogue on East Asia. There's a trilateral dialogue between the U.S., Japan, and India. And in fact, several Indian ministers are coming to Washington in just 2 weeks' time to conduct strategic dialogue talks. So there's absolutely no way that the U.S. would consider adjusting its strategic posture in the region without consulting with India, without talking with India about this. So I think the idea that somehow the U.S. would try to change its strategic posture in such a fundamental way without consulting with India first is not credible.
No, Lisa, I'd just like to clarify here, there is no suggestion from our channel sent that this is being done unilaterally, right? The question is that this is being known about now. Now, whether it's being done in consultation with India or not is another matter, isn't it? Wasbir, let me come to you. Whether or not India is being consulted is something we don't know. The only thing we know as of now is that the Americans are very aggressively looking at enhancing their naval and military presence in Bangladesh. Wasbir.
Absolutely. Arnab, this has not surprised me because information which I have gathered over the last few days from Bangladesh is that this strategic consultations between the United States and Bangladesh dates back to around 2008 when the Americans actually come up with a proposal to the Bangladeshis that they would like to survey the Bangladesh airfields. They wanted terrain intelligence. They were interested in command post exercises, and therefore they wanted its marine fleet to reach inland waters in Bangladesh till the river port of Narayanganj. So there is some discussions between the Americans and Bangladeshis since 2008. But the fact remains that I have been talking to members of the Bangladesh strategic community in the last 2 days, and former top commanders of the Bangladesh military intelligence and army generals. They have been saying that this will be an absolute blunder if Bangladesh were to allow the Americans to set up a base in their country. So apprehensive that the regime in Bangladesh, the Awami League government, which is due for elections in next year, they're facing elections next year, Sheikh Hasina, and there is some kind of a fear that the Bangladesh establishment might sort of actually go an extra mile to concede some of the American demands, and therefore the note of caution from the strategic community is that keep the Americans at bay, keep the friendship, but keep the friendship at an arm's length. That is the mood on the ground. Absolutely worried people, absolutely worried strategic community, which are not part of the government though.
No, is this, what we are also told by our sources is that this will be an American counter to China's whole string of pearls strategy, which is, Americans are almost worried, almost paranoid, aren't they, about increasing rising China's geopolitical influence in the region. So I'd like to go to our guest in Hong Kong, Anthony Yu, next to you, that China itself has a lot of interest in Bangladesh. It provides military hardware to Bangladesh. Could it be possible that Bangladesh is taking advantage of its strategic uniqueness to get the most mileage from both China and America?
I was a little bit surprised to hear that Bangladesh become another strategic reference point for the U.S., quote-unquote, U.S. imperialist. However, the government of Bangladesh has repeatedly denied such information. Well, if we believe the Bangladesh government's denial, then the chief reason is obvious. Bangladesh is closely cooperated with China, both economically and militarily. And, well, don't forget Bangladesh is equipped by Chinese tank, and the Navy is using Chinese frigates, missile boats, and fight jets is all made in China. So, but also they have so many agreements signed during the 2000. Wen Jiabao visited Bangladesh in 2005, and Bangladesh become one of the third largest trading partner of China in South Asia. So I would say the economic ties are strong and the military ties are strong. So I cannot see that there's any problem to have any peaceful arrangement and conversation dialogues between the two states.
I'd like to.
If you're referring to the South China Sea,
no, the greatest concern here, Anthony, is that nobody wants the Bay of Bengal to become another South China Sea. Let's draw in Seshadri Chari also, who's a member of the National Executive of the BJP, and get a sense of what are you hearing, Mr. Chari, and what are the concerns from the Indian perspective?
No, Arnav, I must congratulate you on this story in the first place. But even if there is of course, as you said, Pentagon has denied, Bangladesh is in a denial mode, India says they were not consulted or they do not know or they were not aware of all these things. Even if that is a fact, the truth is the economic power center is shifting from the west to east, and India and China both are playing an important role. The only area which has been kept out of all this involvement, all the flashpoint, South China Sea is already in a flashpoint. Southeast Asia or Asia region also has a lot of problems. Indian Ocean region is comparatively peaceful. So, and India has a preeminent role in the Indian Ocean region. Therefore, I think if a port like Chittagong is being used for operational purposes or operational turnaround for ships, it is understandable. And we have also been doing a number of bilateral naval exercises with a number of countries, including the US, including China. So it's not the question of friendly relationship or bilateral naval exercises. But if US wants to really use Chittagong to park their fleet, park their destroyers, and use that port for surveillance purpose, then I don't think they should be doing it unilaterally. Yeah. If they are prepared to consult India, India has a preeminent role in the Indian Ocean region.
They should talk to us.
And we should not, I don't think we should take it very lightly. Anything that undermines India's position and India's strategic influence in the area should be taken seriously. Yes. Therefore, while there should be some anti-access strategy as far as China is concerned, because if you take the whole Rimland region, Indian Ocean region, there are more than 54 countries, and the only country which has no direct access to Indian Ocean region in the whole of Asia is China. Therefore, it is very important that India should play a significant role as far as Indian Ocean region is concerned, and Government of India cannot take it very lightly if a foreign power, however good they may be, but if they are coming to this area with some ulterior motive or intention, I think the Government of India should be consulted, and we should also be very alert as far as these moves are concerned.
Yeah, but because this is not completely, recent. I'd like to come back to Lisa because we may lose the satellite link with Washington. Just coming to you, Ms. Tikri and Maruf in just a second. I'd like to point out here, Lisa, according to information which we have here, because a lot is overt, a lot is covert, that there was a secret meeting with the Home Ministry, officials in Bangladesh, which was revealed in the section of the Bangladeshi press. And this has been going on since the last 4 or 5 years. This particular very meeting happened in 2008, and the US Marine Corps said they want to now enter Bangladesh in a big way, and they said that we were capable of identifying the movement of terrorists and religious extremists, and we can survey your borders and we can manage your borders with India. And this was revealed that that in 2008 they said we can manage and survey your borders, and the reason given was that we can also sort of help you tackle terrorists and religious extremists. Now Sheikh Hasina won't be able to say anything on record, right? But Wasbir, we have on confirmation the fact that this has been going on for some time, right? Wasbir wanted to come in.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. And there are also reports that, one of the top commanders of the American Pacific Command has been visiting a particular place in Chittagong. In fact, they have supposed to have earmarked a Korean export promotion zone in Chittagong to be the base of this American Navy, American naval base or the American base, the Korean export promotion zone. That is actually lying idle, and that has been developed for the American base for the last couple of years. And that is one specific information which we have gathered from our sources.
But also,
the Bangladeshis are going to deny it. That's a different matter.
Yeah, but also there is
it has been going on since 2008.
No, there is no formal agreement. Yes, Lisa, there is no formal agreement. On that, I agree with you. There is no formal agreement.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Listen, again,
absolutely.
I think this is being hyped up.
Why do you say so? I mean, this is
the U.S. and India both share concerns. I'm sorry.
No, please continue. Sorry.
Well, sorry if I digress a little bit.
Okay. So the U.S. and India both share concerns about what China has been doing in the South China Sea, some of the disputes that have been going on with the Philippines, with Japan, and other countries. So I think it's safe to say that the U.S. and India have the same concerns with Chinese assertive policies in the maritime domain. But I think this idea that there's some kind of secret agreement between the U.S. and Bangladesh is being hyped. Certainly, the U.S. sees Bangladesh as an important partner. It's a developing democracy. Its economy is doing quite well. They share counterterrorism concerns, so the U.S. would be interested in helping train the special forces operations. But the idea that there's some kind of secret agreement there, I think,
Lisa, the question is that
too much.
The question is, Indians also are strongly vested in Bangladesh, aren't they, Maruf? No, one sec. I'd like to get in Maruf from Delhi. In 1971, the same American Navy